Fortunately for me, it was after 5 p.m. So what is the story so far? And after a turn in which the Barbarians kind of broke things open, this last turn felt a little bit less Barbarian emphasized, although you see a lot of blue pieces around. And some of the reason for that is, yes, some of the Barbarians that were already there continue wandering around and marauding. Although they have been kind of stomped and stopped up here. But the bigger thing is more and more usurpers are starting to join the cause. Now, usurper isn't... So barbarians breaking through is just terrible. If the usurpers alone are winning, the Roman can throw a card away and basically switch over. We've also added the third wave of barbarians, or the third wave attack into the deck, which we don't know what that's going to do, but we can't imagine that it's going to be particularly good for the Romans. The Romans still have a lot of victory points. They're at 10, but they've got to make it through 4 turns with those 10 victory points, and right now they're losing 3 a turn. So if that keeps up, they will lose the game. Here we are at dawn on Sunday, trying to convince myself to go shopping. I feel well enough, you know, after dancing and whatnot. I'm actually been in pretty good shape. I've been awake most of the night. Oh, so dealt out our cards, and let's take a look at the Roman set, see what we got. We got a settlement option, which are interesting because they can revoke and then you lose the whole territory and everything, but they can take pressure off and give you additional forces. Of course, they also bury an additional card here. Place 2 allied CUs with allied leaders, with up to 2 allied leaders. I think that's 2. You can put 1 per. I'd have to look that up. And then each leader receives 4 action points. Ricimer, you get him in a loyalist CU, and again, I think he was a barbarian, but I'm not sure. Pronounced Ricimer. He may be activated from tribal reserve as if he were an allied leader. 1 loyalist CU and a loyalist space in Italia. Interesting. Oh, was he the one who established the kingdom initially, or declared himself emperor or something? I don't remember. Eastern Conquest. Activate a loyalist leader. He receives 6 action points. Reduce victory points by 1. Ugh. Unless loyalist CU occupy the further east at the end of this impulse. This impulse, activated leader may move into further east. You normally can't. While loyalist CU occupy this zone, it counts as a loyalist province for scoring. And you're also allowed to fight things there, which could be a good way to beat up on tribes. Eliminate up to 4 allied CU, then place an equal number of loyalist CU with the nearest loyalist leader. Interesting. And then the ATS leader and 2 loyalists. Okay, we don't have a campaign. I want to take a look at these 2 leaders, just because I'm here. ATS is awesome. Is Ricimer anywhere near as good? We have a Saurus. You know, not so hot for him. But he can use these, which is a big deal because they're a pain in the ass. Of course, if you have a lot of allied tribes, I don't know. I don't know which way to put it, because you get more of these the more tribes you have. Alright, let's think about the barbarians then, because they're going to be going first. Replace Gundrick with Genesrek. I'm assuming this is something you want to do. I don't know where Gundrick is. Probably not on the board. Is he dead? I think he's dead. If the Vandal tribe marker is on allied side... Oh, wait, maybe he's... I don't know where the Vandals are. I don't have the Vandals on the board yet, supposedly. I'm not sure I believe that. Oh, I don't know. I don't seem to find any, that's Ostrogoths. I thought I brought Vandals in. Huh. Well, I'm gonna look. Apparently I skipped bringing the Vandals in, which means they're buried in there, and I'm not gonna see them for a long time. So this is just a big 3-point card. Monastic lifestyle, eliminate 2 loyalists. CU for the rest of the game. The Roman player cannot play loyalists in Rome or Mediolanum provincial capitals. Mediolanum is this, okay. Interesting. That's going to be hard to remember. That also doesn't have a... Oh, it has a counter, but it doesn't have a remove, so it won't be sitting around as a card to remind you. Roman discipline falters. Oh, for the remainder of the game, ignore combat superiority DRM, and barbarian player wins all tied battles. Excellent. Weak and worthless. +1 battle roll. +2 instead if allies are there. Massacre. Play when completing a siege against a walled city. Gain 2 additional plunder and place a massacre with the activated leader. The AP cost for this leader to make siege attempts is reduced to 1, and the leader gets +1 to any future siege rolls. How nice. Huns. Attila, who I'm sure is good with 10 barbarian forces in places I own over here. Or further east, of course. And then he gets an activation. That's nice. Most of these don't give you an activation. Let's take a look at Attila. Oh boy. Yeah. And depopulation, eliminate 1 loyalist CU and 1 fortification level. From up to 3 loyalist cultivated and border spaces not holding any leaders. If any of these spaces are now unoccupied, change control to allied. That changing control to allied isn't very good because it takes away your plunder opportunities, but it is a way of blasting a hole. This would be, so this is 3rd wave. This would be incredibly powerful if you could do it early, right? But where it is, I got my cracks in the Limite system. I'm not sure how big a deal this is. Although certainly, you know, I could bust these 2 and drop this down to a strength point. That would be fairly potent in terms of just reducing stuff. So many options. It's really hard. It's like I have so many different choices of different things I want to and can do. You know, like the Hunnic invasion. Wow. That could come streaming in and cause a lot of problems. But on the other hand, you know, I've got targets of opportunity like this, where I've got a couple of different pieces that could go after it. I've got Hispania, which, yes, I'm not taking it away from Rome, but I'm getting plunder if I move around through there. Of course, he's very expensive to move. So I'll probably be doing that with migrations. But I can use cards for migration to gain additional points. This guy would love to move so that I could open up space so that that could be taken, but it doesn't seem to be high on my list. I've got Mediolanum up here that I could siege and take another province away from the Romans. And that's kind of impressive because, yeah, sure, it's a usurper. He could go over to Roman side. But I don't necessarily want to capture a lot of territories with the usurper, right? What I want to do is I want to split the province so that neither side would get points for it if the Romans throw their card in. It's weird thinking. It's like the usurpers aren't really trying to do anything successful. They're just trying to muck things up so that whichever side comes out of it victorious, it's going to be, you know, whichever side the Romans choose to play, it's going to be ugly for that side. I find that a little disappointing to my immersion aspect of the game, right? This is what I was bringing up before, where okay, the Romans, at any given time, I feel like I really am Rome. And I'm doing things to try to preserve Rome and try to win any battles for usurpation. Although I could see the Roman player doing stuff that would end up giving territory to the usurper somehow. It's hard because, like, the usurper isolation gives stuff back to Rome, back to the loyalists. But I could see maybe there's some weird stuff you could do with the Romans. I can almost imagine something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But with the usurper, you're really still playing that I am the spirit of let's make Rome fucked, as opposed to, you're not following goals with the usurper. You're not, just like you're not really following specific goals necessarily with the barbarians, but the barbarians feel more tied to their own desires, I guess, although they're kind of wandering around plundering even after, like, they capture stuff. Feels a little odd as well. If I compare this to the only other game on this subject that's kind of close to this, which is the Invasions by Thibault. In that game, I feel like I'm actually running the different powers to do as well as they can. It's got a very Britannia feel. Maybe I'm trading away one country's best move for another country to get better points or something like that. But I don't feel like I'm actually trying to, like, create iffy situations like I feel like I am with the usurpers here. Play the Roman discipline falters. I don't know where to put this. Most games have some kind of box you can keep things in. I mean, there's lots of boxes I could put it in, but they'd be kind of misleading. I'll just put it out here in the ocean. And I'll keep this one face up. It's removed after play so that I can look up in case I get confused. Romans, I'm considering the Rome offers settlement card. Just considering it. In the sense of, hey, I could give somebody this, which I still own, for now. I don't think I can settle people in Italy. I think maybe that's the limitation. I have to look that up. But, let's see. The cards are over here. And I'm guessing this is actually going to be not in the card, which is where you would expect the rule to be, but in settlement, which has its own rules. So, I'll check that. I mean, it's kind of a, shit, you got the same rule in both places. But let me go over my thinking before I bother looking that up. My thinking is, this is pretty badly threatened. I don't have forces near here. I'd like to park some buddy there. But which buddy is the question? I look around the board. I can't take a usurper. I've got 5 strength points over here that are kind of threatening me, but I've got them kind of sort of pinned down a little bit, sort of kind of. And I've got more forces over there, so they're in good shape. This is my biggest enemy with 7 or 6, but he's over in Germania. And again, I have a decent sized force facing him, although not a lot of capability to move with that. Hengist over here is sitting with only 4. He's the closest and would be the most logical choice to go there. And by the way, if I take him out of there, it's not like I get this stuff back, right? So there's still kind of a problem back there. The Picts, I'm not really worried about the Picts doing anything. They don't have a naval leader, and they only have 6 they have 6 strength points, which would be valuable to pull in, but, what? They're just taking usurper spaces right now. They're not taking anything away from me. I could take this guy. He, again, would be taking usurper spaces right now and isn't really terribly helpful. So the strongest force is appealing in a way, but I don't know if I want to pull them out. I don't know that I want to do this, right? H's is very good. He would get 2 loyalist CU. Yeah, but there's already somebody good here. And any loyalist space in Italia. So he could go join like this and have 4 CU up there. That would be interesting as well. He was good, right? Yeah, he's really good. He's like one of my best leaders. But with the settlement, you know, do I want to do it? If I do it, I want to do it now. And what do I want to take out of there? Oh, this is 8 strength points. No, this I'm gonna give him a settlement. I'm gonna give him a settlement. So this is what, the Visigoths or something? Oh. All right, I got to look up the settlement rolls. It's these guys over here, right? Visigoths, yeah. I think that may be my best move. Now, I ran into something interesting here. I was looking to find an answer to monastic lifestyle because it says eliminate 2 loyalist CU. For the rest of the game, the Roman player cannot place loyalist reinforcements in the Roma or Medullarum provincial capitals. There are cards like Ricimer. Well, this guy, but he's not an issue. But Ricimer, place the Ricimer leader and 1 loyalist CU in any loyalist space in Italia. Well, that's similar, right? The other one was also in Italy. Yeah. So there's general points that you get at the end of the turn that definitely you're not going to get as reinforcements. But also, what about reinforcing CUs from cards? What if I had a card that says you place this in one of these 2 locations? And there have been such cards. I don't know if I've used them all, or whether they're reshuffled in, you know, and might come up again. But will they be abandoned? And I couldn't find anything on that here. I can go upstairs and look. But what I did run across was the weak and worthless card. The allied CU may be participating on either side for the +2 DRM to be available. Maybe there's some card that allows allied troops to change hands briefly during a battle or something like that. I don't know. But in general, allied troops are always pro-Roman. They can't be on the other side. So I don't know what that's meant to do. I don't really want to do the depopulation. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And the monastic lifestyle, if it affects cards, might be a good choice to play. I kind of regret what I played before because, hey, I could have taken this town, but I didn't know. But yeah, I think depleting the Romans' capability to do more stuff seems of value. There's another one. And I get to eliminate 2 loyalist CU. I don't know where from. And boy, I'm taking a long time on video on this one, and I don't know why. What do I want to get rid of? I don't know. I really don't know. There aren't that many loyalists left. Like, taking from Stilicho would be really useful, to tell you the truth. Why don't we drop him down to a less valuable leader? Do we want to leave him with 2 and leave this open? I don't have anybody who's really. I have this guy. He's ready to siege. Yeah. Why don't we leave Stilicho at 2? It's not enough to do much with. But this here, this will mean he's not going to get reinforcements anymore. This card goes back. That's kind of weird. Like, I would think this card would be a play once because A, it has an ongoing effect, but B, it can never use that. Well, I guess I could play it for the event again and eliminate 2 more CUs with it once more. I don't know. All right, I'm going to move the dice here, and I'm going to look that up upstairs, see what's up with it. This is so often the case. There's nothing in the errata up there either. So, or sorry, the clarifications. The way I'm going to take it is, if a card creates a leader and CUs, the leader can come in, the CUs can't. because the leader probably isn't going to become a monk, you know? But the overall manpower drain would prevent the extra forces from coming. We'll see. I don't think that we're seeing the other leaders that are showing up are allowed to start in non-provincial capitals now. So build Adis, and I move them through here and launch an attack on, who are these? The Alemanni. The traitorous Alemanni. So I'm at 4-3. I no longer get the +1, right? Roman discipline falters. For the remainder of the game, ignore the combat superiority DRM. Now, it's funny. Remember that card that said combat? It said combat superiority. I think the person who brought up that it was a reliance on leaders got it wrong, because this is called combat superiority for the military capability that the Romans have as well. All right. So here, ignore the combat superiority DRM. That I assume is the +1 the Romans get for crossing clear terrain. So we're going to be at +3, but with 4 strength points to 3. And we get a big roll. I could have withdrawn 3 strength points with the, what did I have? Three guys. So I do 1 casualty. These guys are going to be displaced. Why is he in there already? Should he have been placed somewhere? Like, why is he displaced? Did I forget to play him last turn? He's the guy who was down here. He should have been placed as a reinforcement somewhere. And that would have happened before I got cards. He's not very good. He can't go there. I think I would have put him here. That withdrew back here. He's now there alone. Let's just say that. Okay. So yeah, we destroy this. We take a hit, which gets us to 3. That guy gets displaced. But now we've got a siege, and the tribal marker stays there until we successfully siege it. Or unsuccessfully run away, but then it does stay there. And, you know, that gives us a shot. Should I have taken both of these? Well, I needed to take both of them, right? Let me think. What did I have? I had, that was a 3-point card. Shit. Maybe I have more points left. Place the Aetius and 2 loyalists, then activate them using the card's ops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Used them all. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid that that was the case. Oh well. Plans with my barbarians that I'm going to, well, with the usurper here, that I'm going to get this moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. My plans involve giving him the massacre card. Now, you would think barbarians would be the ones who get it. Roman usurper probably shouldn't be getting it, but it doesn't say anything about that. I don't know. Maybe it's in the card thing. I don't want to deal. So I've got a siege, and I am at +1 for being Roman still, because this isn't combat superiority. This is just them being better at sieges. At least that's how I read it. 4 or 5. I take the town. This guy's displaced. I am going to play the massacre card, which reduces the cost of sieges. That's one of the advantages. And we'll just put that under him. So that was 4 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I want to go from here, I say? Another siege. This guy is not close. He can't do anything about it. And I get +1 to the siege roll as well. So that's +2 for being Roman and deadly. And now we haven't converted any of the spaces that we've been walking through. We've just been capturing the cities. However, we just took this away, for what it's worth. Given that that's away, I think I should probably put some markers down. Of course, I have to remember this because, again, this is a card that doesn't go away. Or that, yeah, so I can't put it there. And this is going to be kind of hard. Does this tell me anything on the back? No. So some of the games, mainly GMT CDGs, they do a lot of them, give you a list of what it does on the counter for the counters that that handle that issue. This doesn't, which means I have to just try to remember what that massacre does. Whatever. And now we're back to the Roman turn. And yeah, I mean, we've done a pretty good number on them. The Romans have to start considering, oh, by the way, as to these things. So they're all supposed to be on the board all the time. I just don't put them there as kind of a convenience because it's easier for me to not be dealing with all of them. They kind of detract from the beauty of the board, and I actually think this board for a bubble map does a pretty good job, but if you put all those counters all over the place, it stops looking as nice, you know. But it's beginning to get to the point where I have to have enough of these on, and it's just the nature of these point-to-point maps, man. Consider the concept of what would happen if I switched sides. If I switched sides, Africa down here. So right now I have like 3 provinces, right? I have, wait, I took the wrong, yeah, I have Italia Suburbica, I have Illyricum, and I have Gallia Lugdunensis because I fortified it, really. Otherwise I would have lost it. And probably not to the usurper. What does the usurper have? The usurper, I think, has Africa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 3. Yeah, the usurper has Africa. The usurper has Hispania. I'm at 2. It's getting pretty close. Gallia Venenesis, they have that. That's 3 provinces. Now I'm at equal. They don't have this. So we're getting... they don't have Britannia because there's so much Pictish territory taken. But we're getting kind of close to the point where we might want to switch which side we're on in this civil war. It's to kind of an interesting question because someone like this, I really shouldn't have played if I am going to switch sides. I'm going to play this crappy 1-point card to try to siege this. I have 4 CPs or just 3? Or just 2? I have all 4 CPs. I'm +1 for Roman. I really want to take this. That wipes the tribe out, and I'm having trouble figuring out what else I want to do. 5 is a success. So we take this back. I think that just got us Belgica. So we're doing significantly better. Off a really shitty card, and I get rid of the Alemanni, which is the big deal. Now I have more points. I could turn against these Saxons here. I'm not very strong. I spent 2. I wish I could get more strength points easily. I can walk there, pick those up, and come back. Or I could just count on being better. I want to count on being better. I mean, I'm a lot better. grab the strength point. I don't trust being better. Oops. There's no 4-point counters. But that gave us Belgica. Puts that back into our hands. And I can make life happier for me. I can take some of these counters off if that's the case. Here come the Huns with 6 points. Now I could just siege this. This is hard to get to. Impossible, in fact. I'd have to go back to the furthest. I'd have to start in the furthest east. I'm allowed to do that. I think that's what I want to do, because otherwise I'd be attacking this straight up, and I don't particularly want to do that. So 2, 4, we hit them here. That's huge. I'm at +4. We do take a hit, though. Capture the border area, march down. We don't capture this space. It's okay. Allied effort card. I'm not really thrilled with this, but it gives me 2 strength points. Place 2 with up to 2 allied leaders. Again, I could read this 2 different ways, right? I can read it, place 2 with up to, place 2 CU on each of up to 2 allied leaders, or place 2 CU divided between up to 2 allied leaders. I don't know which it is. I'm going with the latter. We're going to give these troops, where the fuck did I put them? There they are. Here. Now I can activate each with the card. This one I definitely want to activate, although I kind of thought about leaving a garrison there. He moves there. That's 1. We fight a battle with this, or does he retreat? Hey, that's mine. Oh, no. That's a usurper. Yeah. Okay. This is why I will never be able to do the pretend that you're purple, you know, pretend that the purple usurper pieces are yours for now. I could not handle that. Okay, he is going to take this as a siege, which means I get a siege roll there. No plus, I'm not Roman. Ooh, not so good. It's kind of interesting. This guy can't move. He can't run away. He's stuck here. He's got force. He could sail. He could sail away. But he can't move to any of these spaces because you can't move from a siege that you're conducting to an enemy space. And those are all enemy now. Now for the other one, it's this guy who I gave the extra troops to. He's my only other barbarian leader. He has 7. I barely outnumber this. I don't outfight it. I think I want to attack him, though. I really do. So let's go in there. So that's 7 to 6. I got no cards. He's got no cards. With the usurper at +1. Ooh, big hits. Okay, that's going to be 4. And this is going to be 3. We lose the battle. Now, how many points did we have? We only had 2 points. That was 1, and we fall back and we don't win. And, oh shit. And there's no movement connection here. Alright, fuck it. I'm going to pretend there was one. There's mountains there. There's words there. That's what prevented it. So I could have gone 2-3. Which would throw me back to here with no additional losses. And we're going to lose 4 to 3. There's a 1 shot. One thing with what we've got, you know, I did some attrition. Great. I traded allies for usurpers. Usurpers are, well, they're not that hard to come back. They get 2 strength points per. One thing I'm running into is real problems with, like, you know, the 2 strength points I put here, I grabbed Romans for that. now they're dead, and so it's fine. But the chances of me screwing up because I've got two different colors of the same kind of piece, I'm using one color for two different types of pieces that are very different. It's not just can I discern them easily, when I look at them. It's also, it's just hard to grab the right pieces. Like, it's just the brain does not process things well. How do the Barbarians feel? They could take a pass, actually, because there's 3 Roman cards. There's been for a while. And I don't really rightly know. Is this a problem I need to deal with? I mean, it kind of is. But I also kind of don't have anything that can deal with the Visigoths. Except for the Huns. The Huns could deal. But I don't feel terribly threatened by anything, and I would like more cards. So I'm going to throw it back on the Romans again. Probably should have done that earlier. I'm going to try to activate this Siegemeister. He probably actually can. Okay. This would have been nice to have in my hand. I get 5 movement points. First one's for siege. No modifiers. I do 1 hit. It's going to take a while to trim him down. Should he be Roman? Yeah, I guess. Okay, so that's... I had 5 moves. That's 2 of my 5. I go again. Now I'm down to 1 left. I get another hit. Yeah. He's still there in the city. And now there's not much I could do. I could run away. I'd rather not do that. Yeah, getting important cards in that tribal reserve kind of sucks, doesn't it? Whoever's here, the Ostrogoths, they're fairly powerful, but they're having a hard time getting through things. I'm going to take a bunch of stuff out of their way. It just seems like a good idea. And that's a card that gets replayed. That gives me migration path into this town, which, we might be taking Belgica back. The Eastern conquests were marching in here. Does he want to retreat? He's so outgunned. But, so I'm at +1 on the withdrawal table. But this was 1 out of 4 moves. Of course, he'd be sieging. I've got naval leader. I can shift to other places that might be more fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to avoid battle. So I'm at a +1 for the leader. +1 if Roman and avoiding across clear. -1 if avoiding into another power space. Yeah. So I succeed in getting away. Oh, this wasn't a siegeable location. Oh. That may not be... I may not want to do that then. Because I can't avoid by sea. I'll get stuck somewhere. Yeah, I'm just going to stand and fight then. Although I'm in a lot of trouble. All right. So 4 to 4, +3 for the Romans. And yeah, I know I cheated. We do 1 hit. 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Romans. They're going to do 3 hits on us. If they had something that could reduce that further, that would be potent. But instead, this withdraws. So that was 1. I won the battle. I think I may have to pay an AP to continue. Not sure. We gave out there. I'm never sure of these kind of things, and again, area and point-to-point games tend to have more complex interaction rules with the combat, with all kind of stuff for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. Things that you can't really remember as well. So battle movement continuation is 12.6. And yeah, we have, tables of contents in each section, which is also kind of a neat idea. I've never seen that before. If the activated force was victorious and the battle was not combined, you must pay 1 AP prior to spending any remaining action points. But there's an exception. A single 0 AP siege may be made if the space is fortified. I never remember that. Yeah. Did I score at least 2 more hits than the loser? Yes, I did. So I get to continue for free. So that was 1. 2. I guess I convert this over to Roman. I'm never sure if that's a good idea because I'm creating plunder spaces, right? But I could cause problems if I retreat. 3. We're attacking again. This time, again at +3. 6 on the 3. I wipe him out, and he gets 4 on the 1. He does a point of damage. It's the end of the Saxons, and now I'm kind of confused. Like, the angles are gone, right? We wiped them out. Let's get them off. I don't know about the Ostrogoth and the Vandals. I think all of these others are kicking around in one form or another. And that's a big deal. This does not get removed. Let's figure out where I am. I always have 4 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4 I convert. And turn it again into a source of plunder, which is not appealing, but I'm hoping, well, we still got this butthead who can sail around wherever the hell he likes. Kind of interesting because I'm a little worried about these Byzantines here. They could light this up, maybe. And my Huns could save them. But maybe it's more important for me to go after points of my own. So what if I do, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, the question is what I want to control. All right. I will leave this space as is. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will siege this space with the Torvenings in it. The Torvenings will move up to here. Oh no! They're an allied tribe. I believe they get destroyed if I do that. That may not be the best thing, right? Like destroying a tribe, an allied tribe, that allied tribe might turn against, but we'll try our siege. We get a 3, that's 1, 1. We'll have to get points. The Romans are going to move their Byzantines 1, 2 to here. Now, what do I want to do about this? I am outnumbered, but not, pretty badly. I'm going to try to evade. He only has 2 movement points, so I'm at +3 on the evasion. Seriously? Nice. Yeah. 4 ain't gonna do it. I take a penalty in battle for this. don't know where that's listed. It's not on the chart. So we'll have to look to see if we can find it. Now, additional die roll modifiers. -1 to combat roll if the defender has a fortification in the battle space. I have not been remembering that. Failed to avoid battle gives a -1 to the defender's roll. That's the one I remembered. Yeah, I didn't remember the fortification. It's fortification markers, but that's right. It's just fortification markers. Yeah. So we haven't seen a whole lot of them, but we've seen a couple of cases where the barbarians plowed through a 1 strength point unit. Not a big deal. I think they probably would have anyway. And here we're looking at 3 to 7 with, I think we're just at even. Okay, 7 a 2 does 2, 3 does nothing. So we hit him twice, and now he can fall back. And feels a lot weaker than he did. But he can fall back either to here or here. This looks maybe safer. I don't know. There's like forces everywhere. Now, what did I say? You win a battle, you're allowed a 0 AP siege right away? I haven't been doing that, man. I've been charging 2 points for the sieges. I think I saw that. I don't know who that's best for. Movement continuation. Exception. A single 0 AP if the battle space is fortified. After which, if the space, if now so unfortified, changes. I don't know if that counts as walled cities. I think that's only fortifications. So I don't think, again, I don't think that has much effect. So I think we just get this. And that gets us to the end. And now it's attrition time. We have a number of sieges underway, all of which will attrit. And I don't see any control markers on top of units. We had one up here, but into all the complexity of like different kind of movement situations that show up in these point-to-point games, this game has overlaid that with another layer of complexity, which has to do with the stacking rolls based on the nationalities and whatnot. So I just captured this town, this city, and it's a barbarian now, allied barbarian. But I think, let's put some of these in here because things are getting confusing. And no plunder is raised for that. My allied tribes don't plunder. But now, I don't know what happens to Bauto. Does he just get displaced, or is he eliminated? Because usurpers have special set of rules around their leaders that comes down to this. And I'm going to have to really kind of hunt through. I don't know if it'll be in the stacking rules or somewhere else that I can't think of. Stacking seems like an odd place to look for when leaders get displaced and when they don't. But I fear it's actually the most likely place. Although it's not in the index, there's a leader displacement rule. It is under leaders, which is in the index. It was like my third try. And it seems like a pretty reasonable thing, but I didn't remember this. But exceptional loyalist, emperor leaders, and any usurper leaders displaced are permanently eliminated instead. So Bauto is gone completely. Now, I don't remember when the usurpation ends. I know it ends when a usurper emperor goes away. We do have a rule here. Usurpation ends 1723 on page 40. It's kind of nice that they give both the page and the reference number. That actually is really useful. Yeah, so if all usurper leaders are destroyed, this ends. Right now there's 2 usurper leaders left though, so that doesn't look too likely. On the other hand, if I switch sides, Honorius is then the usurper emperor, and just killing him ends the usurpation, which is kind of cool. We just gained this, but that does not get us Gallia of Venesis. I'll leave that there. It's not doing any harm where it is. All right, onward with the rest of the sieges. We did this one. This one didn't. No one died. He's got nowhere he can go except sailing. There aren't a whole lot of migrations going on. Now, this is kind of weird. This is something that feels not historical, not accurate in any way to me. Tribes being wiped out. It's happening way too... It's a fairly normal strategy that the Romans seem to be, and very powerful, using. And without it, they would lose the game. But these groups did not just vaporize, for the most part. Like... So all these tribes that I've been knocking out, I don't know, to some extent maybe you could say, well, they kind of, where there are barbarian holdings, they kind of settled down and they're weak and they're not moving around anymore. And that was true to some extent. That's one hand-wavy explanation. Another is they might have become assimilated into the local population and sort of Romanized to some extent. And again, in some cases that's the case. So that's kind of the argument for it, but it feels like they're happening too drastically too often. Anyway, what we got going, the Huns came down this way. They didn't want to expose themselves to the Byzantines, and in fact maybe shouldn't have come down at all, but I'm hoping to get a jump, be able to take this, and then protect them. Right now, the fact that I'm sieging a town means the Huns can be destroyed. That's basically what it comes down to. If your leader is busy sieging a location, his tribe can just be wiped out. And he's got a powerful tribe. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, unless I'm missing something in the rules. These guys wandering around in southern Spain, getting some plunder markers. The Picts wandering around in their own territory. They can't get anything done until this butthead does something. I mean, yeah, they could attack or something, but they're shitty. Over here, the Ostrogoths have made their move and shifted through, taking a couple of towns. Belgica is, once again, not Roman. And we'll put these here. I don't know what to call it, but it's not generating points is basically what happens. And blasting through those fortified spaces really opened up a nice path to move through there. So that was actually a really good move by the barbarians. Now, that brings me to the scoring phase. And as far as I see it, the Romans have 3. Illyricum, they still own, although it's under siege. Italy, Suburbica, and Gallia Lugdunensis. And that's it. That means I lose 4 more points. I lost 1 off here. I'm down to 5. The Romans are failing fast, okay? I can only lose 2 points a turn at this point, and I'll still lose the game. So Rome is teetering. They're probably not going to win here. Now, early on, I felt like, wow, the barbarians aren't getting anything done, you know. And now I'm feeling like, wow, it's really hard to stop this once it gets started, you know. I'm not sure I disagree with either from sort of a historical standpoint by any means. From a game standpoint, it may feel a little weird. If you're playing like scenarios, I guess it's kind of hard. I'd have to look at the victory points for the different scenarios. But if they follow like their simple, I don't know what the victory conditions are for the scenarios, but if they follow the same, basically the victory point track, you're gonna basically just not want to, like the Romans gained a whole lot during the prelude turns and the first turn of the game, so those totals are going to have to be pretty damn high comparatively, or else I don't understand something about the game. Let me take a peek at them. Success or strife. There's no special victory conditions for this scenario. At the end of the victory point turn of phase turn B, the Roman player wins unless he's reduced to 0 victory points. Wow, that sounds almost impossible. Is that a misprint? Like, there's a lot of usurpers on the board. There's no question about that. But, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Oh, but where does the victory point marker start for this? That's key. It's placed at 6. I started at 12. So the Grand Campaign gives you a lot more room. Of course, I was gaining victory points through that time, but I could see it going the other way. So in this one, the victory point and plunder markers are both at 0 for the first migration. You don't track victory points. Why would you mark it? Why would you mark it? What the fuck? Okay, so this is completely different victory points. Gothic invasion. I don't know. It's just so hard finding information in this. Like, I'm just finding it very difficult. Compare this to like the stuff the gamers put out, where the victory conditions are nicely spelled out and everything kind of makes sense. Everything in this book is just so hard to parse what's going on. It's like, unless you've read it, like reading a novel, because it is so text heavy. Anyway, so we're on reinforcements. Anything special? We already added the third wave. I don't think there's anything special. Maybe it says maybe it says something here. I don't know. This is the right one. There are no scenario specific. During reinforcements of 4. Yeah, we're done. We're done. We got them all. Okay. Tribes got their reinforcements. The picks are getting surprisingly large. Just being, they only get 1 per turn, but there's a lot of turns. The usurpers get 2 per usurper space. I may have been forgetting this guy. He just does not seem like he has enough troops. He's been there for a while, but this guy got his. And the Roman allied tribes each get 1. But the actual Romans got nothing. What territories do they control? Gallia Lugdunensis, controlled by an ally. Illyricum, controlled by an ally. And then Italia Suburbica, I almost gave them 2 points, and then I remembered, wait a minute, this monastic lifestyle fucks that up. So, yeah, nice. Rome is no longer getting reinforcements. And they're just doomed. I'm pretty sure they're on their way out. In fact, how many points did we gain this time, or did we lose this time? We lost 4. If things get just a little worse, we're done. And it's not like we can trade the usurper power in and become the usurper and be in better shape. We've already looked at that, right? This is beginning to get trimmed away as the usurper in Spain is losing his territory. So he's not going to be worth a point very soon. Britannia is not worth a point. This Well, we just took that, so that's not going to be worth a point anymore. Yeah, you know, what we're taking here, we're just disrupting the points to the extent that the Romans can't take either side and do well. Africa would go over. Africa is definitely worth a point. Last turn was probably the best turn for it, where there were 3 points that were real and one that was close. Maybe I could do something in Britannia. In addition, these usurpers dying means that I have less leaders, which, for good or bad, you know, I don't want to lose this guy. I want him to convert. I want him back. He was my good leader. But whenever you get a good leader, I think that's one thing the barbarians are going to do, is they're going to target those better leaders and take them away from you. Taking this away was not all that valuable, but it was valuable from like a victory point perspective. Anyway, that's it for now. Beginning to worry I'm not going to go shopping today. It's I don't know. It's hard for me to do it on this end of the day. It's morning. I know I'm going to be awake for a couple hours, but it's just hard to activate and motivate and do anything during this period of time. And I think it's part of why I go nocturnal, is so that I don't do anything, so that I don't feel like I should or have to do anything. But where it gets me in trouble, it gets me in trouble. Right. Much as whatever conscience I have tells me to go shopping. I at least did a load of dishes, which is more than I've done in probably 2 months. Kind of nasty after you let it sit for a while. Anyway, yeah, you know, I've been barely managing to survive for the past couple of years, whatever, just in terms of like getting things done or whatever, just barely. And now I think I'm beyond that and at the point where maybe it's time. All right. So here we have, let's take a look at the Roman cards, make sure we have a major campaign. So we have an option. That's 3 leaders using this big 3-point card. Roman Steel Barbarian Blood, +1 to battle roll. Roll twice, keeping the higher roll if Loyalist and Ace and Allied CUs are participating on the same side. That's an interesting little thing. I got another settlement. I mean, they help. You know, I've got this problem here of the Ostrogoths. They're at 9 strength points. Settling them might not be such a terrible idea. Barbarian Baptization. Place this card face up at the bottom of the tribal reserve. Except for hand size, this card counts as part of the tribal reserve and is available for a single use per turn. I've been wondering how I would use this. I guess tilt it this way and then a different way to indicate that it's been used or not. Usurper killed by his own men, playing during a battle where the barbarian player has a participating usurper CU. If more loyalists CU than usurper, eliminate all usurper CU and leaders and change control of the battle space to loyalist. This is kind of, you know, how I'm used to battle spaces changing. When you fight a battle, it can automatically change the battle space, and otherwise you have to pay to change. Maybe I'm missing something. Otherwise, eliminate 2 participating usurper CUs. This could be really, really strong in terms of maybe getting this guy out of the way. I don't think I can get him back, but I'm still going to be stuck in a condition where there's another usurper on the board. Julius Nepos, if not in play, place the Dux Byzantinia leader in the Eastern Roman Empire zone or any loyalist space in Illyricum or Italia. Then replace the Dux Byzantina leader with Julius Nepos and place 4 Byzantine CU with him. So again, I think the if not in play, now here we've got a period, so it's a little bit more believable. The if not in play is just conditional to placing the troops down. Do I want that campaign? This is interesting because I have this. I could play that as part of the campaign. So let me think a little bit about that. I've got like 3 leaders I might want to play together. I've got this siege. Oh no, that's not a siege anymore. I succeeded there. But I could move down here and lay siege to that. And that is appealing. Taking this and this would leave me 1 short of taking the province, but if I take all of those, I could get this. And then, conceivably, I might be able to contest things over in Hispania as well. I've got this leader who has a decent number of troops. I don't feel like he's a good match for the Ostrogoths here. But I could take some stuff, but I think I want to settle the Ostrogoths, to tell you the truth. I don't know where. Oh, let's see. Right now the only thing we own is Rome. And I don't think we're allowed to settle people in Italy. I just seem to remember that. I thought I checked it and couldn't find anything on it. Yeah. Can't be in Italy. So our settlement is not an option with what we own. And if we switched over to the usurper, it could be, because we have this, and, you know, but again, I feel like I don't want to make that switch. We'd lose points overall. Then my third place would probably be this, or maybe this. Yeah, I could do this siege, but again, I can't do all the movements I want to. I'm worried I'm not going to get full value out of my major campaign no matter what, though. Like, yeah, this guy I can get full value out of, but everybody else I feel is kind of iffy, and I don't know that that's going to change. I screwed up anyway. I've got 6 cards here. One of them's going to have to go into there. It will be this one. I don't want to know what it is. Odd, even, which one's on top. This will be on top. So yeah, so I've got now 2 tribes in play. And let's see. I don't have the campaign. I'll try to pretend that I don't know what's there. But that means, yeah, I pass and we go to the Barbarians. Let's take a look at what their cards are and see what they're thinking about. Roman Lethargy. Draw a strategy card from Roman player's hand and place it on top of Tribal Reserve. Activate a Barbarian leader using this card's ops or gain 2 ops for raid activations only. So this is weird. Like, I play this card for its event. I think a card goes on top of here at random. Yeah, and then this card's ops can be used for a barbarian or raid actions. I haven't been doing much raid. Raid doesn't feel very valuable, mainly because migration does all the good of raid, and raid isn't very good for busting holes or dealing with real threats from the Romans. Gepids. With 4 barbarians in the further east, and then an immediate activation. And I could come through there. This card doesn't have a lot of OPs, so I'm actually not sure I can do shit with him. We'll see what the Gepid leader is. What's his name? Anderic or something like that. Oh, he's pretty capable of doing stuff. So he would get his 4 movement points. So yeah, he could get there. Barbarian Incursion. Activate a Barbarian leader. He gets 6 activation action points. This impulse. If activated leader is Ardanic, Attila, or Gore. I don't have Gore so far. The AP cost for sieges is reduced to 1 and the leader gets +1 to siege rolls. Very, very interesting. I think we're going to do that with Attila since he's busy. over there. Victorious general assassinated play after a losing battle against a loyalist commander leader in which the barbarian lost at least 3 CU. Unless it's an emperor, you can permanently eliminate that leader. That is very attractive for getting rid of one of the really good Roman leaders. Ottokar. Place Ottokar and 4 loyalist CUs. Really? In any loyalist space in Italia not containing a loyalist leader. Flip Ottokar to his usurper side. I think that triggers a whole usurper action. But there is a leader here, so I wouldn't be able to get control of this area of the loyalist territories there. Well, I wouldn't be able to get a control of Rome. I would be able to grab everything else in Italy, I think. Travel reinforcements, 4 barbarian CUs. Activate 3 leaders using ops, resolve combined. Okay, it's a major campaign. Gotta think. There's a pretty good leader, a 1-3. So I'm gonna play him. It gets me control of all of Italia except for Rome itself, which again maintains my sort of goal. Let's make it so that the Romans don't really get much by flipping sides, right? Although flipping sides is beginning to look more and more appealing at this point. For a number of reasons. Why is this under siege? I think they succeeded in the siege. I know that didn't. Okay. Rome should have gotten this. There's only one place it could go, which was here. I'm going to play this, tuck it under. Sort of a delay of game tactic, among other things. They're going to play the lethargy. I drew a card. It is the usurper killed by his own men, which again could have been a useful thing. And I got 2 points to use. Now, in terms of barbarians, I don't have a shitload. I have him. I could use this to move here. Or down here. Take the last province down. See, knocking Stilicho out would be useful. Is that who it is? No, it's Aetius. But Stilicho's slower. I think taking a town might be more useful. Of course, I could get intercepted taking the town, and that wouldn't be fun. 1, 2. Plunder, plunder, plunder. Three. No, actually I've got 9 to 2. And I've got a bonus, sorry, the Romans have a bonus of +2. I could play this for a +1, but not worth it. Okay, the Romans roll an 8 with a 2. That does 2 hits. I roll a 1 with a 9. I only do 1. I'm defeated. It has a pitifully small hand due to what I have here. I know what's on top. It's a nice big card for moving a barbarian if I so desire, and I may want to. I might want to play Julius Nepos to get the extra extra leadership and whatnot here. Is he on the back side of this? Yeah. So he could come in. It's a little better, you know. And I'd get additional troops and could still use one of these to do this. On the other hand, it would be removing a big 3-point card. I was thinking, wow, with a 2-point card could just move me here and put this under siege. A 3-point card, though, I could take this and then move to there. But I only have one 3-point card in my hand, which is the Julian Nepos. That's also kind of the means of getting there. Jeez. Ugly, ugly, ugly choices. Everything's ugly, and I may want to get him out of the way, right? He's in danger. I'm not going to lose the leader. He'll go in the displaced box. But just have so many different choices. With this, I'd be getting an extra movement points, or an extra action point, so I'd have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do this because we know what we get. No plunder. Oop. 1, 2, 3. We get to fight a battle. That may actually make things cheaper for us. So we're at 7 at +2. I guess to 3. The thing is, I could leave one out and get him killed and leave the rest there for siege, which I actually like better. So 2 are going to be in the city, and I'm just going to abandon 1 out there. 7, a 4. I roll a 4 on 7, that'll kill it. I roll a 5 on 1, that does a damage. And the siege went badly for me. I lost a strength point on a bad die roll. And that will put us back to the barbarians. I'm not thinking well because I'm hungry. I kind of woke up wanting to eat and realized, well, if I want to cook food, and I kind of have to now, I mean, there are other options, but if I want to cook food, which I have set aside and ready to do and whatnot, I really needed to do the dishes. And then I'm like, well, now that I did the dishes, I'm kind of grossed out and I don't want to eat. And so I figured I'd come down here and do this. And a little dizzy, a little hungry, a little tired. Just, wow. Play our barbarian incursion here. That gives us +1 to the siege roll. There's nothing really there. And we have 6 action points and it only costs us 1, so we'll have 5 left. That does nothing. Make it 4 left. Alright, we take this. That will get these Tervingi, I think, removed from the game, and that may kill off the leader. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up, and since I have to look it up, let me get 4 pips for this card so I remember how much action I have. Okay, so yes, this goes away, and the Tervingi leader, who is this gray guy here, goes away, but these allied troops remain where they are. And it's the same guy on both sides. So that leaves me with 4 movement points. Now I'd love to come back and pick this up. Of course that weakens the tribe if I do that. In order to be able to better fight this, how much do I have? I have 6. That would bring me to 9. That's a pretty good number. I am afraid of facing the Byzantines otherwise. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, I get another plunder. Now, we're getting to see, I think I plundered something and I didn't mark it. I don't think I took a plunder for that space. But anyway, we're getting to see what the board looks like with all these damn markers out. And, you know, it's so much more attractive without all the control markers all over the place. But things are confused enough now that I feel like I absolutely need them all. And note, these are currently usurper spaces. At the end of the turn, they'll change back to loyalist because they can't trace anywhere. These are safe because they trace back to a city or a strength point. Honestly, I am just too hungry not to do something about it, so I'm going to pause my turn here. I don't like ending in the middle. I don't like taking breaks in the middle of a turn. It ends up confusing me, but I'm just not operating properly. Guess I wasn't sure the Byzantines outgunned. I mean, I know they had enough troops, but leadership-wise, they weren't that great. I'm bringing the Julius Nepos in. I'm not thrilled about it. That's my only decent card left. Bring the Gepids in. They're going to hit here. Get me some raiding capability. I'm at +2 on those Romans. 8 at 4 is definitely going to kill them and win the battle, but 6 at 1 kills one of mine. All these tribal cards here. Essentially 4 tribal cards this turn, right? Because one got pulled. I had 2 to begin with. One got pulled from my hand, and then I did the Barbarian Baptism. I only have 1 tribal leader left. And there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do with my tribal forces otherwise. Got these guys here. I don't know what, you know, I could try to get them to reinforce somewhere, but they're really not too useful to me anymore. Is 4 points a good number for me? 2 for the siege, 3, 4. It's not bad. See, the question is whether I want to randomize or not. I'm going to randomize, and I get instead 5 points, which is what I knew it was. And we siege. We kill 2. These are Romans. Okay, that means I have 2 more. I'll do another siege. That's a trade-off. I have shit tons of points. I will move into there. We're going to maybe try to take these out. I could throw a tribal card away to get him out of there without using sea movement. I don't know if that's terribly useful. I mean, he has enough movement points I could sea move him. And clear that space anyhow. Interesting point with the Barbarians. There are 3 of these cards in the Barbarian Baptism and 3 Barbarian cards. But this says except for hand size it counts, which to me means I'm still forced to play one of my Barbarian cards. I'm not sure if that's the intention, because it actually means that the Romans have sort of an extra action and will always be able to go last. There's a sort of an obnoxious way you can generate points with usurpers. Here's how. If I activate this fucker, I could convert a couple of spaces, and then those spaces would be open for the Picts to plunder again. So I could just create a continuous cycle of plunder points. I don't feel like I really need to do that. I think there's better things I can do, but what are those better things? Well, mainly I'm looking at the major campaign. How does Attila excite me? He's got 9 strength points. This has 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm a little better in combat, but not good enough that I really feel terribly potent. Just not feeling like, and if I move to here, they could intercept, and that wouldn't be good. Actually, I'm not sure they can. Interception is 11.2 according to the interception rule. Basically, I'm not sure if I have to discard a card to intercept. Interception. You may intercept into a space if this would violate stacking. So what I'm not sure of whether or not I can do is intercept into a space that is that's allied control, right? Because normally if I want to move into allied control, I have to discard a tribal card. And there's a rule on that. Under normal circumstances, I don't know where it is. The control here, it's not under there. No, that's the control phase. See, this is one of the problems, is they've got like things like control, which is a general concept, and then they just name the control phase control in the rules instead of control phase. They also don't present it, you know, they present all kind of other stuff in different ways. What I'm worried about here, and I have no idea what this is going to be, is where the rule for moving loyalists into tribal spaces, or into I don't know. I don't even know how to say it right now. Into allied spaces. I don't know where that fucking rule is going to be. Okay, loyalists can move into any space except allied tribal, but that's movement. And movement sometimes means only movement by activation, and sometimes it means other things. Now this is movement restrictions under the activation type system. That's the only place where I see this restriction. But maybe stacking has it as well. If as a result of rite of passage, if you end up overstacked. I have the feeling that I have to do the rite of passage, C7.2. Okay, maybe that's more general. 7.2. What's 7.2? 7.2 is under cards. Tribal reserve. Whenever the Roman player rite of passage. Alternatively, during normal activation of a loyalist leader or during forced march, the Roman player can discard the top card of the tribal reserve. Yeah, so this doesn't allow So here's the thing. This doesn't allow it for interception. I'm not sure there's anywhere where it's disallowed for interception. Like, the only place you would see is here. You can make an interception each time a force or rating CU moves into an adjacent space. Can't do it against certain things. Restrictions. You can intercept into a space if this would violate stacking limits. This might be considered stacking limits. I feel like I have to check the rules, because if these guys can't be intercepted by the Romans, they're a nice target. If they can be, not so nice. As is the case, seems like 9 times out of 10, I go up there, I check it, yeah, there's nothing on there about it. And again, this is a weird case. If the rules were really, really much easier to navigate and find stuff in, this wouldn't piss me off as much. But basically, I'm looking all over the place for this. Can't find anything that really defines it. And then I go to the clarifications where, you know, given that this doesn't cover the issue at all, this really would be a clarification if it was handled somewhere else in the rules. I don't think it's handled anywhere, whether or not I can intercept into that tribal space. I'm going to say I can, because there's an overstacking option, and there's no prohibition in interception. And it seems like the kind of thing that, you know, the tribe would just say, yeah, we could use your help. Plus, the Romans are doing pretty poorly right now. I'm still trying to fucking figure out what the barbarians want to do. You know, do I want to do that major campaign? I don't have to use barbarians for it. I can move these guys out and open up some more spaces for the Picts to play around in. I think I'm gonna do. That major campaign, because what can I do? But I could do a migration with these guys. Oh no, they're too far away. So 1, 2. I have like 6 points for this. Three, 4, or do I want to clear some of this shit up instead? 1. I'm at +2 on these Romans. I get a 3 at 3, and they get a 5 at 1. So we each lose 1. Barbarians win all ties now. So that was 1 move. I wiped them out, so I think I win. I don't win the battle. Oh no, I do win the battle. These are actually Romans. So 2, I plunder. 3, 4, 5, I siege. Not a good result. Oh, no, I can't siege. Never mind. 3, 4, 5, I plunder. I screwed up by fighting that battle, but... And then 6, I'll move into this space, where I have to take attrition, but I'll get the space. It does weaken me terribly. That's 1. 2. Well, that's still Co. What does he have here? He doesn't have much. But I don't necessarily want to take Rome, because I own the rest of the province, right? This is where the usurper's like, Yeah, we just want to keep ourselves, we don't want to do well. Oh, have this nice big meaty force here. I want to move this fucker. He's got 7 strength points. Do I want to just get out of here? Yeah, because I don't want to. Well, that's going to be all picked. 3 gives me 4. So I can move 1, and then I can sail somewhere. Where would be a good place to sail? Two, 3, 4. No chance at interception. We have a city, so we get to keep these alive. Put these markers down just because. So that's 2 of my guys. Who was the third guy I wanted to move? I kind of think I wanted to move this guy. He has 5 moves. 1, 2, 3. We'll siege for 4, 5. And if we get lucky here, we destroy that another tribe. I don't think we got that lucky. We killed one of these, but that puts us in a position where we're close to taking them out. The Visigoths. Now there's a stack of Visigoths over here, but they're going to have a hard time making it back. That, I think, was my 3 for my major campaign. This one doesn't get discarded. Phew. I'm essentially out of food. Easy food, I mean, but really almost everything. But it means I'm cooking something that's kind of real now. Like a couple of steaks and some vegetables and whatnot that I'm baking. But it's like, I don't eat this well normally. I don't even think I can buy meat anymore. It's like emotionally unavailable now. Anyway, I'm going to play this one. To activate my Byzantine squad, I'm less interested. Okay, I gotta break this into a 2 and a 1. I'm less interested in did I fuck up? No. In taking the Huns out than I am in this. So this is going to be a 4 point. I move in here with 1. He has to face me somehow or another. He could retreat into enemy space. That would drop me down to like a +2. I can't really take the siege there. I really like this leader too. That's a reason I don't want to. I'm going to try to retreat with the entire force. I'm at +2. I succeed. That gets me here. So now I have to siege because I can't continue going out of there. I can't. Well, actually, I can. That's a friendly space. Oh, we do the siege anyway. We're at +1 for Romans. We get a 4. That takes it back. And now we have one more move, if I counted correctly, into here. And he once again wants to try to retreat. He's at +3 this time. He gets away. Byzantines are there. They've spent everything, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to decide whether to move and siege and take this space, siege this and finish that off, although kind of have them blocked off here. Move Attila to take some of this. I've got a lot of different nice options available to me. But I think I'm going to do this. So he has 5 movement points. That's 1, 2, 3 to siege. That's 1 of each. That means no more sieges for this. Oh, he's at +1 on siege. And does it cheaper. Because this is the guy with the murder. Which I can kind of try to remember. So 1, 2. I had 5 total, so I have 3 left. And I took this without a loss because that's the 4 to 5 table. Creating another place. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I dare? Do I dare get close to this? I don't really want to. I'll fall back here because I can go into, I can take it as a siege instead. I think for the Romans I'm going to try to activate this. I'm getting really confused as to what I want to do in any given place. I draw that, that's going to give me 4 points because he's a 2-point leader. 1, 2, 3, I could take one thing on my way back. These are tribal. So there's a couple of there's a couple of options. If I take this, I secure my retreat path, which is kind of probably more valuable. Right? I could retreat into there. That's actually allowable. Yeah, let's plunder instead, because I think I'm in pretty good shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We put that under siege. And that was that card. I still have this available. And the Barbarians still have to go with that 3-point card. What do I want to do with that? I could grab a whole bunch more plunder by just moving things. But I think I want to activate Attila. So he's going to have 6 movement points. 1, 2, a plunder. They're not hurting anyone. Without a leader. 3, 4, 5 to siege with no bonus. Not a good roll. And we'll stay there. And those are Barbarians that I just lost, yeah, that I lost. That'll put another under siege. Running out of those markers. And that means the Romans get 2 actions in a row, essentially. Now, I'm currently sieging that. I'm okay with that. I can't move through this to there, I think. But I could come up this way, 1, 2, 3. And that would help me save my leader. That's my best move, but I only have 2 movement points, which isn't going to do it. My Barbarians are not optimal here. Oh boy. We only have one barbarian. Oh shit, my battery. We only have one barbarian available. So we're going to use our point for that. And that gives me 4 movement points. I use 2 of them for siege here against this poor fucker. Oh, he can't be sieged. He has too big an army. Shit. So I had to attack him. I didn't realize he still had 3 strength points. I thought he was down to 2. So when I moved in there, I didn't get to place the under siege marker. He had nowhere he could retreat to. So we were attacking at +1 for the usurper, because his leadership is better, at 3 and 5. And we'll see what the result would have been. 3 at 3 would be 1. 2 at 5 would be 1. The barbarian player wins all tide battles, which means I would have had to retreat here. So I actually take an extra hit point, going down to 3 hits, because I fell back into here instead of sieging. Now this is what happened before. And he took 1. And now he's available for being sieged. I moved where I did because I wanted to be able to take sieges, but oops. Okay. So now what do the Romans do in response to this? I still have this 2-point barbarian card. I still outnumber him. So I play this now. 1, I convert this. 2, I move into here. Does he want to fight me? Might as well. So I got 2 left for a siege, although I don't know quite how that works. 4 at 3. 4 at 3 does 1. 5 at 2 does 1. I defeat him again. That leaves me with 1 remaining damn card. Rome offers settlement. I don't feel like I can save him. I only have 3 movement points. I move in. This time it's going to be under siege. 1, 2, 3 for the siege, and I get to roll it. That's going to be enough hits to take this. And because this is a usurper, he dies. The maneuver marker goes, or whatever marker goes away. And did we need to do this? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. That's what we had. So that remains a usurper space. And we have spent everything. Let me check provinces. Gallivenesis is back to being sort of Roman controlled. Oh yeah, we got a marker there, great. Okay, so that's gone back to being Roman controlled. What else do we have? Lugdunensis here is still Roman controlled officially at this point. That might change. And I think everything else is out of Roman hands. That means we're taking a -5. This game is over this turn. But let's continue through with the attrition phase and just handle, handle the mechanisms in play. I don't know what to do about it. Okay, I took care of everything. These sieges took attrition, didn't go anywhere. This one can't go anywhere. We took this hex, no bonus there. Attila got lucky and took Aquileia, and that was worth 2 plunder. Drops Roman victory points to 2. Now we're at migration phase, where everybody can go up to 3. That's going to be fun. 1, 2, 3. That's a couple more plunder. Who are these? They're not the Saxons. I don't know who the hell they are. They're the Angles. Ah, so the Angles are in the game. I had them marked as not being on the board anymore. There they are. So that's 2 plunder. Went over there. The Picts will move 1, 2, 3. That's 4 more plunder we've just taken. You can see when things start going bad, they really start going bad. Okay, this is not. Oh, where do I have another tribe? I have these Ostrogoths. Who are the Ostrogoths? Is that this? Apparently. Oh. They're in some danger, but 1, 2, I don't know, do I want to grab this? Like, do I want to just grab plunder? It kind of doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 more plunder. Take a bunch more of that. We got Attila here. Attila. Oh, I didn't check. I didn't check for. That would have been a reduction, but it is a point of plunder. That went over. These buggers, 1, 2, 3, make it down to there, I guess. The Huns, 1, 2, 3. I'll make it to here. Kind of don't need this if I have the Huns there. No points changing hand. You know, if I was here 1, 2, 3, I could take a plunder instead. What harm is there in that? Oh no, this isn't a plunder. No reason to do that. I think that's all the barbarian migrations. We didn't quite get the plunder up any higher, up to another level, but now it's scoring phase. Romans are going to score. Like I said, they have 2 provinces left. It looks like they have this. Looks like I got this back. Okay, so that's this one. It's back in our hands. Wow, I didn't realize I took something back. But that's 4 victory points, dropping us to 0. Now we're at the end of the game. I could do reinforcements and whatnot, or we're at the end of the turn, but nothing's going to change where this marker is. It's at 0. So that's the end of the game. What did I learn? I mean, other than, yeah, don't buy Compass games new anymore. Wait until they get their rating and the value of aftermarket games goes way down. It really does break open pretty wide when things fall apart. Now, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. It feels kind of historical, right? It doesn't feel that bad what's being generated from it. Yeah, there's some areas around the edges, but it does feel seriously gamey what you're doing with the usurper to optimize your points as the barbarian player. And I really am not comfortable with that. The rest of it feels kind of okay. It does seem a little odd when your migration is just bopping around from place to place. This is very different from invasions, where a migration is going towards a specific location. However, I don't like how scripted Invasions makes that. I definitely blundered around, not knowing what I'm going to do throughout much of the game. Yeah, my battery's not working the way it should. But I'm not really sure how much you can have like a solid, coherent strategy that you can just kind of try to follow. This ended significantly early. What are we in? 455? No, when Rome actually fell. That sounds about right. And things are really in bad shape. The civil wars, the usurpers and whatnot, they can really be used to drive a spike into the Romans in a way that, again, because the usurpers aren't fighting the barbarians at all, they're like just giving stuff up. Look, we gave Britannia up. Now, what would happen during the control phase, actually, there's a few things that would happen. These would now become that. These would become that. That's something that changes. It doesn't do anything for victory points. It's just, this is no longer an all usurper. It's just a barbarian land, and it kind of makes some sense in that the fact that, like, yeah, we're anti-barbarian here more than pro our usurper. The usurper kind of lost all of our favor because he left and all the territory got seized. Although actually, this is a usurper space, so no, these do not flip over. How about that? That fortification, I believe, prevents keeps the usurper in control over there. But so much of it feels weird, like, hey, I'm abandoning these guys in this siege because I don't want to spend a card to try to save a couple of strength points. And a fairly big card. It would have to be at least a 2 to move him by naval movement. And he's just stuck here, no supply, nothing else. Just sitting there in Spain, without being able to take anything, without being able to do anything. That feels very, very wrong. Again, it's edge case type stuff. If you look at the general picture and don't worry too much about the fact the barbarians are, rolling over the same territory back and forth with the Picts or some other places, it kind of, gives you this overall picture. I'll tell you this much: it's better than SPI's Fall of Rome, which was. It's a solo design game. Solo design games generally suck. But soloing opposed games is generally interesting. I found some of the choices I was given interesting. There's no question about that. I kind of liked that move against Germania and try to screw things up. Did that hurt me overall? Is that why I lost? I don't think so. Like, it felt like it actually did me some good and bought me a little extra time to establish things there. What really kind of hurt me was being stuck with, one thing that hurt me at least, was being stuck with Honorius here with this big stack. Because he's a shitty leader. And that's part of that whole maneuver there. I don't know. It felt pretty damn hopeless for the Roman player though, from the point where the borders cracked. As soon as the borders cracked, it's like, yeah, what do I do now? And now all the cards start working against you and everything. It's just nasty in that way. All right, I'm gonna load this up. That's about as much wrap as I can do, and pretty sure my food needs to come out.